So in pollen morphology, the last aspect is exine stratification. We have already mentioned that the outer wall of pollen or any of the spore is composed of spore wall or sporoderm is composed of two different layers. What are those two different layers? The outer one is called as exine and the inner one is called as intine. Exine and intine, these are two different coverings of a pollen wall. So if I consider a pollen grain, in the pollen grain, this is a pollen wall. If this pollen wall is exine and there is an inner wall which is intine, so exine and intine, these are the two layers present in the sporoderm, or it is simply called as the pollen wall. Pollen wall or sporoderm. As far as the chemical composition is concerned, we know that the exine is made up of sporopollenin, whereas intine is made up of cellulose and pectin. Sporopollenin is a very complex and non-biodegradable substance, whereas cellulose and pectin are comparatively very simple and biodegradable substances. So that is making the complete wall of the pollen grain. But the pollen wall is very dynamic in the sense it has got made up of different layers. Each one is further differentiated. So if I take exine and intine, the exine is further differentiated into two layers. The first layer of exine is referred to as sexine, and the second layer is referred to as nexine. Here, if you see carefully, the first letter is different, whereas the rest of the spelling is same. Exine, exine. But S exine stands for sculptured. In the sense, it shows some kind of ornamentation. So here S actually stands for sculptured. And nexine stands for non-sculptured. That is how they are different from each other. As far as the exile is concerned, it is differentiated into two layers, outer sexile and inner nexine. In a sexile, S stands for sculptured, which means it shows ornamentations. It shows different kind of depositions. Whereas in case of nexine, the N stands for non-sculptured. There are no sculptures. And as a result, there is no variation as far as an exile is concerned. But then this exile is further differentiated into three layers. What are the three layers over here? This simply stands for N1, N2, and N3, which is nothing but nexine 1, nexine 2, and nexine 3. Whereas the exile is concerned, the outer sexile is again differentiated into outermost ectosexile and inner one as endosexile. Ectosexile and endosexile. So this is the composition of the pollen wall. So pollen wall is made up of outer exile and inner intine. Intine do not further shows any differentiation, but it is the exile which is showing stratification. What is stratification? Strata, layers. So it shows the layering. Not only layering, but it will also showing some or the other kind of pattern as far as the outermost sexile is concerned. So what are those patterns that we have to find out? Okay, so exile is further differentiated into sexile and nexine. In a sexile, S stands for sculptured, whereas nexine, N stands for non-sculptured. Sexile is differentiated into outermost ectosexile, inner one is endosexile. Nexile is further differentiated into nexile 1, nexile 2, and nexile 3. Okay, so these are the different strata or layers which are present in the pollen wall. Now, the next part which we have to discuss is the sexile ornamentation. Ornamentation. I was talking about ornamentation, and these ornamentations are related to the sculptured exile, that is sexile. So let us find out. Okay. Yes. So look at this diagram for exile stratification. And in this diagram, in this particular diagram, you can make out the wall of the pollen grain which we discussed just now. Look at this. This is intine, which is further differentiated into N1, N2, and N3, but which is not shown over here. So this is the intine. And as far as the outer layer is concerned, that is exile, differentiated into sexile and nexile. Now Nexine is also as it is. Okay, but look at the Sexine. I said it shows the presence of ornamentation. Ornamentation. Okay, in most of the flowering plants, the Sexine appears to be made up of small drumstick shaped rods called as pila. 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 Single is called as pilum. Okay. So what are these pila or each single pilum? Each single pilum projects at right angle from the Nexine surface. And each of the pilum is having two parts. What are the two parts? It shows a head like caput and a stalk by name bacula. Okay, so you can make out this is a structure. So this is a head like structure by name caput, and then this is a stalk which is referred to as bacula. So caput and bacula will make one pilum, and number of such pila are present in the Sexine, giving the typical ornamentation. So what is that ornamentation that we have to find out? Okay. So we have caput and bacula. Single is baculum. So caput and bacula, these are together representing the Sexine part. But you are aware that Sexine is differentiated into ecto and endo Sexine, isn't it? So the caput is actually representing ectosexine, whereas the bacula is representing endosexine. I hope you can imagine the earlier structure. Exine differentiated into ectosexine and endosexine. So here all the caputs, I'm using the plural word caputs, will represent the ectosexine, and all the bacula will represent endosexine. Now there is a possibility that either these caputs are free or they may form a group. At present, you can see all the caputs are free. But imagine if all of them group together like this and they form a roof-like structure, then this roof-like structure would be referred to as tagellum. I repeat what I said. The Sexine is made up of number of pila, drumstick shaped rod called as pila. Single is called as pilum. Each pilum is made up of head like caputs and a stalk called bacula. The caputs are representing endosexine and the bacula is representing endosexine. So ectosexine and endosexine. Here you can see all the caputs are free from each other, but there is a possibility that these caputs may be united together to form a roof-like structure, and that is referred to as tagellum. So if the sexine shows presence of tagellum, it is simply referred to as tagellate sexine. The sexine is said to be tagellate sexine if tagellum is present. And in this tagellate sexine, you will get several types. There are several types under tagellate sexine. So that we have to find out. So I've given you the basics of the exine stratification, the different layers which are present, and now we are interested in finding out what are the different types of tagellate sexine. Have you understood any term, any concept which is not understood?
No, sir.
Yeah,
No, sir.
we move on to the next one, and we are talking about the different types of tagellate sexine. The first diagram is that of tagellum, which I discussed just now. Tagellum is nothing but the fused capex. Tagellum are nothing but the fused capex. All the capex are fused together. So they are forming a roof-like structure. So you can see this as a roof-like structure. They are representing the ectosexine. And now it shows some or the other kind of pattern. And those patterns now we have to find out. So our next topic is types of tagellum. Types of tagellum. The first one is silate. Silate. Silate where P is silent. Now you can make out over here. You can make out this particular structure. What has happened in this case? That all the capex have united together and they have formed a very smooth surface. This is a smooth surface which is formed. And here you can see all the bacula are free from each other. And all the capex have fused together to form a smooth roof. A smooth roof is formed over here. So when the smooth roof is formed, then this type of tagellum is called as silate tagellum, which is the most simplest and the common type of tagellate sexine. In this case, the upper surface of tagellum is usually smooth because of all the capex have fused together and they form a complete smooth surface. Then it is called as silate type. I said it is the most simple and most common type of tagellum. Okay. Second type. Second type is called as the pilate type. Pilate. Pilate tagellum. So what is a pilate tagellum? Now you already know the silate type. Now check out this. See the structure and you will be able to understand. Yes. What is the difference in the earlier?
More smooth, straight like a baby.
Yes. Hmm.
So in this case, tagellum is formed by the fusion of capex. Bacula are free, but the roof-like structure, tagellum, instead of smooth, the surface is slightly undulating or it is wavy, correct? And that's the reason why this particular type is called as pilate type. Pilate. Third type is called as punctate type. Punctate. Now in this case, puncta is nothing but a hole. Puncta is nothing but a hole. You can see here, a puncta. This is a hole. So what has happened here in this case, all the capits have united together. Again, bacula are free. Okay, bacula are again free. But instead of forming either the smooth silate or wavy pilate type, that roof-like structure shows many furrows or depressions or cavities, whatever you can say. So those depressions or cavities or holes are referred to as puncta. And having presence of such puncta on the tagellum makes it punctate tagellum. Okay, so just a quick revision. Silate for smooth, pilate for wavy,
Wavy.
and punctate will have
Cavity.
cavities. Good. Okay, that is how you have to remember. There is no need to by heart everything. Even if you remember, silate is for smooth, pilate is wavy, punctate is cavities. The same diagram you can modify and you can make all the types. Clear? Yeah. Now the next one is a bit different, not difficult, but different. But you'll be able to make out. Now see what has happened here. In this case, both the caput and bacula have fused together. So far in the earlier types, we were talking about in all earlier three types, the bacula were free. Okay, and caputs were united. Here, caput and bacula both have fused together. Not only they have fused together, but they will show layers. And for layers, I have given you another name, strata. So here you see striations. Striations or layers in the tagellum where both capita and bacula have fused together. If the caput of pila, the entire pila, because it is made up of two parts, caput and bacula. If the caput of pila fuse row-wise, the tagellum type is referred to as striate. It is formed by a lateral union of pila together with the caput and bacula, resulting in the formation of continuous sexile with parallel lumina. Thus, it is not possible to distinguish between ectosexile and endosexile. Such a type is called as striate type. So striate type is a type where ecto and endosexile cannot be distinguished. or even caput and bacula cannot be differentiated because all of them have fused together. So this is a type referred to as striate type. Okay, striate type. And from this striate type, there are two more types. There are two more types which are derived, which are modifications. The first type from striate is referred to as reticulate. And under this reticulate, there are two types. One is brochiate and second is faviolate. One is brochiate and second is faviolate. Now, what is a difference between these two? First of all, try and understand what is reticulate. I said reticulate is derived from striate. What is striate? Striate is a type where ecto and endosexine cannot be distinguished because the caputs and bacula both have fused together to form striations. Correct? Now, reticulate is a type which is derived from striate, wherein all the pila united with each other and they are arranged in certain patterns which are usually hexagonal. Hexagonal. Okay. This results in several reticulum on the pollen surface and are commonly known as brochi. When all lumina are of uniform size, which are hexagonal, then it is referred to as homobrochiate. Look at this case. All are hexagonal, but all the dimensions are same. All the dimensions are same. They are of similar dimensions. Then they are referred to as homobrochiate. So now you can guess the second type in which, yes, it is referred to as heterobrochiate. Why heterobrochiate? You can see here, some
Yes.
are large in size, some are smaller in size. Sorry. So I repeat, reticulate is a type which is derived from striate, wherein all the pila uniting with each other are arranged in certain patterns which are usually hexagonal. And this results in several reticulum on the pollen surface that are commonly known as brochi. When all lumina are of uniform size, they are known as homobrochiate, and when they are of different sizes, it is called as heterobrochiate. If caput fuse such that small many hexagonal areas are created on fused tagellum, the sexine is referred to as reticulate sexine. Reticulate sex. And if this reticulate sexine is having cavities, each cavity is called as a brochum. If this brochum cavity is hexagonal, It is called as bronchiate. Sometimes the bronchi are circular instead of hexagonal. Just now we have drawn here hexagonal bronchi. But instead of hexagonal, if they are circular, then the word faviolet is used in the same manner. That is, again here we can have two types, homofaviolet and heterofaviolate. Normally bronchi are hexagonal. But sometimes they may be circular. So if the bronchi are circular, then there are two possibilities. One is homofaviolate, second is heterofaviolate. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
What is reticulate type? What is bronchi? If bronchi is hexagonal, it is bronchiate. If it is circular, it is faviolate. If all bronchi are of same type, homo is a prefix, hetero is a prefix. So if all hexagonal similar type, homobronchiate. If all hexagonal different types, heterobronchiate. If all bronchi are circular, similar, homofaviolate. And if all are circular but of different dimensions, heterofaviolate. Okay, so these are 5 different types. What are those 5 different types? We'll go in a reverse order. This is reticulate. Before reticulate, it was striate. Before striate, it was punctate. Before that, pilate. Before that, ciliate. So ciliate is for smooth tagellum. Pilate is for wavy tagellum. Punctate is for having presence of cavities called puncta. Then striate, where ecto and endosaxine cannot be differentiated. They are forming the vertical lines, lumina. And if the lumina are showing hexagonal units called bronchi, single is bronchal, then it is bronchiate, which has got two types, homo and hetero. But if these bronchi are spherical, circular, then instead of using bronchiate, we have to use the term faviolate. Is it clear? These are the 5 different types of, yes, sexile ornamentation. Now, yeah, this is how the homo and hetero faviolate seen. And this is the outline. This is bronchius, which is, we can see here. Hexagonal, and this is spherical. Okay. So these are the 2 types. Any doubts, any queries?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So now we are moving to the next part, and that next part is nothing but the excrescences. Yeah, still apertures part is remaining, I guess. Apertures, we have just given the, yeah, I'll take excrescences, and the next time I'll take separately apertures. Okay. What are excrescences? The pollen wall. So here we start from the lowermost. What is this lowermost? I for entine. What is N? N for nexine. So here I stands for entine, N for nexine. What is B? What is B? B
Bacula.
for bacula.
Bacula.
E for B for bacula. T for tagellum. Correct. So tagellum we mentioned as ectosexile. Remember, this as endosexile. Ectosexile. So this is endosexile. And this is nexine. So this is something which is above sexile. What is E? E stands for excrescences. E stands for excrescences. So where is E? E is present above sexile. But it may be present, it may be absent. Especially in plants which are pollinated by biotic agencies, that is with the help of living organism, excrescences are present. But if their pollen are usually absent, such pollen wall is a smooth. Okay. So what are excrescences? Excrescences are extra deposits which are present on the pollen wall, adding towards the ornamentation of sexile. In advanced angiosperm, these deposits are of mainly the material which help in preventing desiccation of pollen grains, especially when they are released during dry weather conditions, so that they can remain for a longer period of time. Main components of these deposits are proteins and waxy substances, so that the water loss would not take place. Now, what are the different types of excrescences? In fact, in this diagram, you can make out there are 4 basic types. One is granulate. The first one, granulate, where you can see on the pollen surface, these are the granule-like structures present on the pollen wall. When excrescences are in the form of granules, then it is called as granulate. The second one is the most common type, spinate, where the excrescences are present in the form of spines. Hibiscus pollen grain, the most common pollen grain, will show this type of excrescence. And spinate is basically very common in those which are insect pollinated flowers. So spinate, second one. Third one is baculate. Now why it is called as baculate? Because it looks like rod-like deposits, that is of bacula. And that's why it is called as baculate. It has got blunt ends. Instead of spine, spine has got pointed ends. Baculate is having blunt ends. And the fourth one is referred to as verrucate. Verrucate. What is verrucate? Verrucate is the one which looks like mushroom. Look at this. Usually mushroom has got this head-like structure, which is edible portion. And then there is a stalk, correct? So it looks like mini mushrooms, small mushroom-like structure, and that is referred to as verrucate. So these are the 4 basic types. In spinate, you may have different types again. So what are the types? Here you can see the spinate where the tip and the base both are like almost similar. The spines may have a normal base with pointed tip. The spines may be normal base with blunt ends. The spines with broad base and pointed tip, or spines with broad base and blunt ends, whatever. Any combination is possible. Any length is possible. So on that basis, you may have different types. So what are excrescences? Excrescences are the extra deposits, extra, because here the wall of the pollen ends with T for tagellum, correct? The excrescences are extra deposits of a pollen wall adding towards the ornamentation of sexile, especially in advanced angiosperms. These deposits are mainly the material which helps in preventing desiccation, that is water loss of the pollen grain, especially when they are released during the dry weather conditions. The main components of these deposits are proteins and waxy substances. And on the basis of their structures, excrescences are divided into 4 basic types: granulate, where they are in the form of granules; spinate, in the form of spines; then baculate, in the form of the rod-like deposits; and verrucate, where they look like small mushrooms. Okay, so these are the different excrescences.